Welcome to the balance section of this portal. Now, balance is a critical element to understand if we are to truly arrive at health, well-being and our highest performing state. And you may have noticed at the end of each video that I've included a catchphrase, balance your life, underneath the Corporate Wellbeing logo and title there. And I put that there because I wanted there to be a returning theme and reminder that balance is at the core of what we are truly trying to achieve here with this intent, this focus of well-being and highest performance. You may have also noticed that I have utilized the symbol called the caduceus as the button through which you would click to arrive at this area of the portal. And I've done that with specific intent because this ancient symbol conveys the keys and clues as to how to actually achieve this balanced state and the said benefits associated with that. The caduceus has been around since the beginning of recorded history. It is associated with the ancient Sumerian civilization in Mesopotamia. It is associated with the ancient Greek culture and mythology and the god Hermes, who is said to be a messenger to the gods, which is an interesting concept that I may elaborate on at a later point in time, but also the god of commerce and trade, which has significant correlations with the corporate and business world that also has to do with commerce, trade and exchange in various ways. And so through understanding what this symbol truly means, we may be able to not only raise our health and well-being and personal performance to the highest state, but thereby also perform most greatly in our work, in our career, and thereby our business will thrive from that. So it's a very important and valuable concept to comprehend. Now, when we look at the actual symbol code itself, what we see, it is comprised of a central staff up the middle and two snakes that weave up in opposition to each other up through the staff and arrive at the top of the staff where these wings then sprout out. Now, this is a symbol code that has actually been used in contemporary times by the medical establishment, and that for the most part that has been unknown as to what the true meaning of this symbol really means. It has been some sort of association with health and well-being, and so then of course we can understand that the medical establishment, its intent of course is to cure diseases and overcome illnesses so that the body can arrive at a healthy state. That has always been the intent of medicine. But certainly modern medicine cannot achieve the true intent of what is absolutely conveyed by this symbol code. And that is this. In Hindu culture, it talks about two forces, the masculine and the feminine, or Shiva and Shakti as they call it, coming into balance, and that happens in such a way where the body's energies are harmonized. And as that takes place, these vital energies that are known as the Kundalini Shakti, that are supposedly located at the base of the spine, begin to rise up these so-called chakras, or 7 cerebrospinal centers. So that is why when you look at the symbol, it shows the central column, which is actually the spine of the human being, and that as the snakes move in and out, they are moving in and out through those cerebrospinal energy centers to arrive at the brain, where those life energies meet with the pineal and pituitary glands, the master control glands that control the rest of the human body physiology. And that as that takes place, not only does the whole physiology of the body become balanced, but that energy moves into the brain and thereby expands the mind into a place where a true comprehension of the nature of reality can be had. Now, we can all relate to a time where we have had high energy and felt very clear-minded all of the time and been able to focus and achieve a huge amount in that state of mind, but probably and most likely have not been able to maintain that. So that's a little insight into this possibility of getting energy into the brain and having a more highly functional system. At a later point in time, once a person achieves this, energy rising into the brain and mind expanding, then far greater understanding can be had as to the nature of life, in that the reality that we are presented with is not rejected. There is no discord or conflict. And so it is met with an acceptance and understanding, and what that allows us to do is to handle our life situation as it arrives without going into resistance, discord, and what is commonly known as stress. So as we know, stress is most commonly associated with a lowering of the health. Although it's necessary for our growth and development, a high degree of stress is actually not a good thing for our health. So as you can imagine, if you can see your life in such a way where you are not in resistance to it, but that you embrace it with courage and with determination and understanding, then you will take the bull by its horns, so to speak, and make the most out of each moment. You will thrive and you will form at a much higher state. So how it is that we would achieve that is something that I'll be going into much further in the vitality section, for example, how to balance out those opposites, and that as that takes place, you'll find that there is a high benefit in your relationships, because if you have identified yourself as a male and thereby said, well, I'm not female, and rejected the feminine component of who you really are as a human being, which is both a composition of masculine and feminine, then what you'll find is that in relationships it's extremely difficult to understand the opposite polarity. If you're a male, it'll be difficult to understand the female that will be perhaps expressing themselves in a more feminine way. Now, what would that look like? Well, a more feminine way of seeing things would be to identify with the feeling state more effectively or more acutely. And that might not have a rational element to it. It might be just, well, this is just how I feel. And how many times have we as males had the opportunity to hear how someone feels and then overridden that or invalidated that because of the rational explanation in our mind that just didn't make sense to what they were saying? And how did that go? Probably not so well, we may have discovered. And conversely, if you identified with your feminine state and reject the masculine, then you might find that being rational is not a simple process for you. You might be more driven by your feelings. That's not really going to go down well in the business world. When you've got to get stuff done, when you've got to be rational, when you've got to be able to control your emotions, you can't just say, I'm upset and so I'm not doing my job today, and fold your arms. That's not going to work. And so there are benefits to both the masculine and feminine components of who we are that we really require to assimilate if we are to perform at our best. And this has correlations with the left and right brain, with our ability to be rational and intuitive, to tune into our cognitive nature and our feeling state, and to be able to bring that into a harmonious integration of even-mindedness, we could say, that will allow us to perform at our best. So I'm going to continue to elaborate on some of those concepts in the section below, and also in the vitality section I will elaborate on specifically what needs to take place to bring the masculine and feminine components into balance so that you can rise that energy called the Kundalini Shakti that can move up the spine and move into the head, so that mind can expand, so that you can arrive at that place of inner peace, well-being and acceptance of your life, through which you can most certainly perform at your best. I'll look forward to delivering that to you, and keep coming back to this section to find out what's new.